Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please ensure to like, share, and subscribe. And also click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner to be made aware anytime I upload tutorials or videos to YouTube. All right, let's craft together. Hi guys, today I am going to walk you through how to do a fabric transfer on a dark color t-shirt. So I'm going to show you, I'm inside Microsoft PowerPoint and I'm going to be designing my shirt in Microsoft PowerPoint, and that way I can get the benefit of the full sheet of paper instead of having to be restricted by size limitations within Cricut Design Space. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my image. And this is an image that I took from pixabay.com. If anyone is interested in the image, just go to pixabay.com. And I'm going to use this teddy bear image. All right. So since I'm going to be doing this on dark color, which is a black t-shirt, I will not be mirroring this image. Okay. Since I'm doing this on dark color t-shirt, I will not be mirroring this image. Okay. No need to mirror on dark color or for dark color t-shirts. All right, so what I'm going to do is I want to take advantage of the full 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this image and then I'm just going to delete it. All right, so I right-clicked, copy, and then I deleted it. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go over to this format background, and I'm going to format my background to pick up that image. So I'm going to just choose clipboard, and it's going to pick up the image that I last copied. So you want to make sure you copy the image first before you go in and choose picture or texture field and select clipboard, okay? Once you get it copied, what I would like to do is to make sure that the entire circle is within my 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper. So what I'm going to do is go over to the format background and come down to the offset left and offset right. And I'm just going to move that in by clicking the up arrow so that I can bring my circle in. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the offset right. I'm going to click the up arrow to bring that in. Now, if you wanted to bring the top and the bottom in some, you would just offset top and offset bottom. But I like it just like this, so I'm going to leave it where it is. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert text here. And I'm going to put my name here. And this is going to add just a little bit of personalization for me. You know how I'm always saying people like personalized stuff. I'm going to go about there. And let's try to hit bold here. So all I did was inserted text, type my name in, and then found from there, I found a font that I wanted to use. So here is your fonts, and I'm using Addenda. Now I may have uploaded this from defont.com, not sure, but I think that's the font I'm gonna go with. And I'm just trying to bring that in a little bit. I'm gonna kind of swivel it a little bit since she is kind of standing to the side. Here we go. All right, and then on the balloon, I'm going to also add some words there, keeping that same font, I'm just going to copy and then paste it. And then I'm going to shift it back this way. And I'm just going to say Happy Valentine's Day. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open this shape up a little bit just by clicking on these little arrows, or these little dots, I'm sorry. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit. And then I'm going to go back to the home on the menu, and I'm going to choose center so that the words are centered inside my shape here. And I think I like that. So we got Happy Valentine's Day, and I think I want to put that in white. So I'm going to go back to home, and I'm going to choose this color here, font color. Just click on the down arrow and then select the color you want. And I'm going to go with white. So now we have Happy Valentine's Day, and then I added my name just to be a little bit extra. And again, because I'm doing this on dark color, which is a black t-shirt, I'm not going to mirror this image. So at this point, I am ready to go ahead and print this out. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this ready for print, and then I'm going to jump over where you can see me. All right, guys, so this is continuing on with designing a t-shirt. So this is the t-shirt that I'm going to be ironing on, this black t-shirt here. And I have some dark t-shirt transfer paper that I purchased yesterday from the vinyl shop. So you can see it's just an individual piece of paper, and it's clear to know that what side you're going to be printing on, because one side has verbiage on it and the other side is just a plain white sheet of paper. So what I'm going to do is, and this is opaque, which is awesome, because that means that it won't pick up white in the areas that it's not supposed to. So it should be clear in those areas. My first time using it, so we're going to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and insert this into my inkjet printer here. And I'm putting it with the words on the top. The words on the top, and the side that it's going to print on facing down on the bottom, so that when it comes up, it's going to come like that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and print out my image. Now, again, since this is going to be on dark color t-shirt, it is not to be mirrored. So I can't stress that enough. So I am going to select my HP printer. And when I use my HP, I like to say best. So I do think I need to change the ink, but we're going to see what happens. We're going to say other matte inkjet paper and print. I'm going to have to stop it because I selected for it to print all pages. I didn't mean to do that, but it's no big deal. So we're going to print out my image here. And I'm not going to have Cricut to cut this out since the image is pretty large. I'm just going to cut around it with some scissors on my own. And then we will go in and use the heat press to press this down onto my t-shirt. So I just want to show you how to use the dark fabric transfer, because it's really, really easy. I think a lot of people get confused between the dark and the light and when to mirror, when not to mirror. You know, do you peel the back off? Is there a back to peel off? So those type things. So I want to help you to understand the differences. Also, while my inkjet printer is gearing up here because I haven't used it in a couple of days, the other thing, guys, is that when you're using fabric transfer, vinyl, any type of iron-on, it does not work to iron directly on top of an ironing board. So if you have an ironing board and you're using an iron, then you want to make sure that you put a piece of wood. You can go to the hardware store and buy a little cheap piece of wood to put on top of your ironing board. You put that wood down, and then you put either a pillowcase or a sheet or something on top of the wood, and then lay your garment down on that, and then you iron on. If you're trying to iron on directly onto an ironing board, it's not going to work, especially with vinyl. It will never stick. Okay, so I do want to put that out there while I'm waiting for this print to come out. And hopefully it prints out good. I know I need to change the ink, but I haven't done it yet. I have the ink, I just haven't done it. So I just wanted to put that out there before, while I'm waiting on this print. And then when you're doing light color transfers, you always want to make sure you mirror your image, because with light color transfers, unlike dark, you're going to iron on just like this. You're going to iron the image face down just like this. The words or whatever is on the back of that paper will be facing you, and the image will be facing your shirt. However, with dark fabric transfers, you're going to peel this off. There's a backing that you peel off on dark fabric transfers. You're going to peel that backing off, and then you're going to lay your image or your garment down, your image down, and then you're going to iron it on directly on your t-shirt. You want to make sure you're using the silicone sheet or like a piece of paper or something on top of the fabric transfer. You don't want to put the iron or heat press or what have you directly on top of the fabric transfer. So it's finally printing. A miracle has happened. All right. Another thing I want to point out to you guys, you can kind of see here that I have two printers. So if you're interested in doing sublimation, you do want to know in advance that if you have an inkjet printer, you will still need that inkjet printer to do any inkjet printing. And then you will need your sublimation printer to do all sublimation. So you won't be able to use the same printers to do both. Oh God, it printed out on my transfer paper. Oh my God, let me stop this thing because I don't want that. Hold on one second. Well, I'm gonna let it go ahead and print out. But I had two images on this thing, and I didn't tell it to just print the current slides, so it printed both slides. So I'm just gonna let it print. But when you are interested in sublimation, you have to have two printers. You have to have an inkjet printer, and then you have to have a sublimation printer. And your sublimation printer is either a sublimation printer that you purchase that's already sublimated, or a inkjet printer, which is normally in your Epson family. Epson family printers, then you can change that one over from inkjet to a sublimation printer, which is what I did with my Epson Workforce 7720. So if you're interested in how to change over your Epson Workforce 7720, if you purchased one, then I do have a tutorial on my YouTube channel up under sublimation, and it'll show you how to do that. But at least this will let me know if my ink is good before I put it on my t-shirt transfer. But it's taken so long because I chose best quality, which really I didn't need that because this ain't gonna work. But it looks beautiful. Even though it ain't no good. Okay, so at least I can show you with this. So if this was my image of my teddy bear, then what I would do is I would go on here and let me see if I can get it. There we go. On your dark t-shirt transfers, you peel it off just like that. And then you would take this and iron it onto your t-shirt or cut out whatever you don't want. Okay. So dark fabric transfers are always going to have a backing that you're going to peel off. So remember that the backing had the words on it. This is now trash and no good. and this is your fabric transfer, okay, for dark colors. So I'm just gonna put that there because it ain't no good. But this is what it would look like if it was right, and it's not. So I'm gonna have to reprint it, but this time I'm gonna make sure I tell it to print the current side only. So give me 1 second, and we'll get this going. I did want to use this, make sure my hand ain't showing back there, but I did want to try this so I can show you guys what the fabric transfer looked like with the fabric transfer paper from a vinyl shop and not a craft store. So we're going to go in and reprint that. So this is what it would look like. So once I get the fabric transfer here, then I'm just going to cut around this. I'm not going to have Cricut to cut it for me, and I'm just showing you so you'll already know. And I'm not being super careful because I'm not going to use this, but just to kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like. So I would just cut away some of this excess white that's on here. And this is how I would do it. Now, the reason I'm telling you to do it this way, guys, is because this is an SVG file or a vector graphic from Pixabay. And what the cutting machine will do is it will actually cut out inside your heart, okay? You don't want it to do that. You want it to be a full picture. So that's why I'm just cutting it out myself. No need for Cricut to chop this up for me. So this is how I will cut my image so that it goes on my t-shirt just like this. And normally with my t-shirts, I try to come about 3 fingers, as you can see on the t-shirt that I'm wearing. I try to come about 3 fingers down from the top before I start my image. And this is an old image I think that I did last year. And you guys can see it's still hanging in here. One of the things that you want to know is that fabric transfers are only good for about 30 washes. What I mean by that, it'll start to peel or kind of fade or peel, you know, peel in different places. Some of the colors may not look the same. So what I normally would tell someone, especially if I was giving that shirt away or selling it, I would want to be very clear with the instructions as to what to do to maintain the shirt for as long as you can. So you want to tell them things like, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out while I'm talking. But you want to tell them things like, make sure that you wash it on the wrong side. So you would turn the shirt inside out when you get ready to wash it. And I like to let mine air dry. I normally don't put fabric transfers in the dryer because I think that heat just helps to, you know, reduce the amount of lifespan on that t-shirt. So I like to hang mine up and just let it air dry. You could give your customers the choice to use the dryer if they so choose, but just know that that could help to, you know, kill the lifespan on that fabric transfer. And what else? You definitely don't want to use like bleach and stuff like that on your fabric transfers. So I'm just cutting this out as close as I can get to around a little circle here. And then I'm going to pause this video and take you with my heat press where my heat press is. And we're going to iron this on my black t-shirt. So we're almost done here. So I always do the cutout before I do the peel, the peeling of the back. I cut it out first because it's a little bit sturdier with the back on it than once you pull that back off. All right, so now I have everything like I need it. So one of the things you want to take into consideration, if you mirror this image and it's a dark t-shirt transfer, then this image is going to be backwards. Your words are going to be backwards and everything. That's because you're going to iron it face up, image face up like this. Whereas if you were doing a light color or a white t-shirt, then you would put the image face down. You won't peel any backing off on the light transfer. You would just iron this directly or heat press it directly down to the garment. And then once it's done, you'll peel this up and the image will remain. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get this peeled off. And you don't have to worry about, once you peel it off, messing it up, because it's not sticky to you. It doesn't get sticky until heat is applied. So you don't have to worry that, you know, it might stick to something before you can get it on the shirt. So I'm just going to go and peel this backing off. And I'm going to do about 360 for about 30 seconds on this. I haven't done a lot of, let me see if I can get it here. Fabric transfers on my heat press, because I didn't start using my heat press, even though I've had it for years. I didn't really start using my heat press until the end of last year, because I had been using my iron for so long, and that worked for me. But now I use my heat press for everything. So I'm just using my Cricut tool to help me peel that backing off. So again, dark fabric transfers are going to have this backing that you peel off, and this is trash. And now you're left with just your fabric transfer that you're going to just place image side up onto your garment. And then I'm going to use a silicone sheet. I'm going to put a silicone sheet. If you have butcher paper, you can use butcher paper. You can use plain copy paper, but I highly recommend that you do not iron this on by placing your heat press or your iron directly on top of the image, the fabric transfer. Okay, so this is what it's gonna kind of look like when we get done. But I'm gonna come down about 3 fingers from the top of my shirt, and then I'll iron it on from there, centered. So I'm gonna pause this, and I'm gonna take it into the area where my heat press is so you can see the complete process. Be back. All right, guys. I am now here where my heat press is. I have my image lined up on my t-shirt. I have the image face up. I'm going to use this silicone sheet and place it on top of my image and make sure my image is fully covered so you guys can see here. So there is the image. I have it centered properly on my t-shirt, and then I have it about 3 fingers down from the neck area of the t-shirt. And then I'm going to put that silicone sheet on top, ensuring that the entire image is covered with the silicone sheet. Now, you know, in Cricut Design Space, you can't print an image this large. That's why I used Microsoft PowerPoint, so I could get the full image on the 8.5 by 11 paper to take advantage of the complete sheet. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and see where I'm at. I'm at 315. I'm going to do 360 for about 30 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and set my heat press for 360 at 30 seconds. So let me go on here and do enter. And I'm going to do 360. Okay, I think it's because it's already at 360. So let me do the timing for 30 seconds. Okay. And okay, 360. Okay, for 30 seconds. Okay, so it's at 344. Once it hits 360, I'm going to take it down. So one of the things that I'm in the process of doing when I move is purchasing a larger heat press, because now that I do sublimation, I want to be able to at some point in time do larger prints onto my t-shirt. So you can see I'm limited with the small heat press. I'll still use the small heat press for smaller projects, but and I think it's good to have more than one heat press, so you're not limited. But I want to make sure that I have a heat press that's large enough. So I'm going to go for the 16 by 20. Get that turned around. All right, so it's going to beep here when it hits 360. And it looked like it's there. Don't know why it did not start. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lower my heat press, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the timer. All right, so 360 for 30 seconds. Okay, turn that baby off. All right, so I'm going to put it down so you can see here. And always be careful because you know it's going to be hot. And there we have it. And I always just do a double check, because sometimes your heat press is not even with the heat, on there. But let's take it off. And there we have it, our t-shirt with our image on there. And it turned out perfectly. So that is how you do your fabric transfer, guys. It's very, very easy. It's very easy to do. You just have to make sure that you follow the process with dark versus light. Okay, so dark versus light. And even though this said opaque, it still picked up the white around there, but I'm not mad at it because it just helps to bring a little pizzazz to the image. So I'm glad that I did cut it off, even though it said opaque. But it turned out great. And again, you want to make sure you give good instructions as far as what to do when it comes to washing this. You want to wash it inside out. I prefer to hang mine up and let it air dry, but you can put it in the dryer. Just keep in mind that fabric transfers are good for up to about 30 washes. So you want to make sure you tell customers that if you're going to be selling fabric transfers. And with fabric transfers, you can feel it. So I can feel this on top of my shirt. If you can kind of hear that, you can hear me rubbing it. So you can feel the fabric transfers. Sublimation, you can't feel it. You can see it, but you can't feel sublimation because it bleeds into your garment. It's still heating, so I was like, I keep hearing it. I didn't cut it off. All right, so that is it, guys. That's how you do a fabric transfer on dark color t-shirts. And maybe one day next week, I'll do one on a light color t-shirt so you can see the difference in the process between light and dark. And I'm probably going to sub on the back of this one. It's not going to be a vibrant color because this is a cotton t-shirt, but I'm probably going to sub on the back just to give you guys an idea. I may sub on the back just so you guys can see the difference. But it turned out great. I really like it, my little bear. And as you can see, it picked up the Happy Valentine's that I added, and then Doris on the little blouse or the little dress here. So, do little things like that, guys, to add some pizzazz. I'm gonna pull this up so you can see my face. So you can add some pizzazz to your garments when you're designing. You don't always have to stick to just the image itself. Just putting that little extra on here kind of brings it out and personalize it, because everyone likes personalized gifts. Just in case you haven't heard, people love personalized stuff. And they like stuff that they can't just, walk in the store and somebody in Walmart has on the same shirt. Okay. So always do something to take yours to the next level, and you can always ask your customer, do I have free range to add something different? And they say yes, then do it with and do it without in your mock up and send it to the customer and let them make the final decision on whether or not they want the additional personalizations that you've added. Because I just did Happy Valentine's Day with my name, I wouldn't charge more for that because it only took a hot second to put it on there. But that could be the difference between having a customer for one time versus having a customer for life. Okay. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to walk through the process. Again, this is fabric transfer for dark t-shirts. I purchased this at Aviva. You can go on to Aviva, aviva.com. They are online, even though they're located in Dallas, Texas. They do ship, to other areas. But I purchased this fabric transfer paper from them. It's my first time purchasing their fabric transfer, so I'm going to see if it holds up like this Walmart. I think I bought this at Walmart. It may be Pen and Gear that I purchased this from. So we'll see what happens. Stranger things have happened. Again, guys, when you're using an SVG file, like this was an SVG file, if you put this in your cutting machine, your cutting machine will do extra cuts, and you don't want that. So it's best just to cut this out by hand than to put it in the machine, okay? But you could also go in and attach it so that it doesn't do that. But, I like to work with the full image and just cut it out by hand, as you can see I did with this one. So that's it. Hopefully I covered everything in this tutorial for you in regards to dark color versus, for a dark color fabric transfer. And I will put Aviva's website in the description. And I think that's it. All right, don't forget to use a silicone sheet or butcher paper or a piece of paper on top of your fabric transfer. You don't want to put the heat press or your iron directly on top of the fabric transfer because you don't want to burn it. And I did this garment at 360 for 30 seconds. You can see it's perfectly fine. It's not burnt or anything like that. What I would highly recommend is that you check the settings if you're using a heat press or easy press. Check the instructions based on what it tells you, based on what type of project you're doing. Is it fabric transfer? Is it vinyl? Check the settings per your machine. Your machine may be different than mine. And yeah, that's pretty much it that I can think of. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If this is the first time of you seeing one of my tutorials and you like my method of teaching, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and click that bell notification in the top right-hand corner so you can be made aware anytime I upload tutorials to YouTube. And if you're currently in my Facebook group, Candace's Cricut and Creative Crafters, guys, thank you so much for being in my group. And if not, please send me a Facebook group request to Candace's Cricut and Creative Crafters, and I will add you to the group. And yeah, that's it. And you guys know my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. You guys have a great day. Bye.